Hello guys and welcome to another hero related video. For this one we're doing a little bit of sidetracking related to the winter soldier Elodie. Now Elodie, we've already had her event as you can see on the screen. At the same time, she is currently being launched to other servers, the Indian pretty much. So it's time to do some support for our friends who will just get to see her
Believe
for the
it
first
or
time.
not,
Elodie, the Winter Lord, or as I like to call her, the Winter Soldier, is actually a CC crowd control hero. Crowd control heroes are basically to control the enemy, whether it's freezing them, petrifying them, poisoning them, stabbing them, stunning them, twining them. That is a crowd control. A crowd control is pretty much to control the crowd and allow the rest of your heroes to take them out. As you can see in her portrait as a crowd control hero, she focuses on statuses related to her HP and attack and damage immunity. One of the artifacts you can give her is Genesis, the green gem, and Radiance Tribute to decrease her damage in battle that she takes, and for the rest of your heroes so they take less damage. Overall, she is for me the similarity of Lady Jane, being advanced reincarnated into a newer S plus ranked hero. We're gonna go into at the end of the video related to building her in some of those details in a faster direction. Now let's move into actually her skills pretty much. So we're looking at the 4 main skills, and every hero has 4 main skills. That's the maximum. For Elodie, one of the first ones is Frost Breath. Frost Breath grants her or gives her a shield of 15% of the total HP she has, her max HP. And also she uses Absolute Freeze. Absolute Zero, Absolute Freeze. Absolute Freeze pretty much targets the enemy with the highest attack in the battle. You have the enemy, they have 6 heroes. She's gonna target the highest one with the highest attack on the opposite side. That Absolute Freeze is not affected by effective resistance or effective hit. It 100% will happen pretty much on the enemy with the highest attack. That's pretty much the negating or ignoring the effective hit or effective resistance. It cannot be removed, and it will last until actually the shield itself, the frost shield, wears off from the enemy, or Elodie casts another active skill, one of her attacks pretty much. Here is affected by Absolute Freeze. They cannot actually move, attack, do anything. They pretty much are frozen there in battle for you to actually kill them slowly and painfully as they watch you while not being able to move. Similar effect you can see with petrification and twining. The hero cannot move, cannot take action. So Absolute Freeze is pretty much for freezing the enemy and for you to take them out as they're frozen. The good thing about it, without the affected part of the effective hit or effective resistance, you do not need to worry about increasing your effective hit or effective resistance. Pretty much it will happen during battle even if it takes a couple of attempts. Now moving on to the next skill she has. Polar Ice pretty much is the next cycle of when you actually fulfill the Absolute Freeze and your enemy is frozen, they cannot move. They actually take more damage. Oh wow. The damage that they take will be equal to 150% of Elodie's attack, and then it increases at level 2 and level 3 up to 300% of the attack that she can do per attack while they are under the Absolute Freeze. Pretty much when they're frozen, if she attacks, they take more damage while being in the frozen state. The Polar Ice is a fantastic addition for her, and most of her skills actually are based on Lady Jane, and I will show you Lady Jane, by the way, don't worry. Alright, let's move into the next skill she has. The next skill is Zero Frost, and this is the most important skill actually you can see for her, because it will explain to you exactly what she does and exactly the value of using her. Each hit with the Zero Frost, pretty much, the inflicts the attack itself. Pretty much when she attacks, let me just explain it. When she attacks, she's targeting 3 enemies. Okay? you will see a very small icon, we'll show it later, of the Zero Frost or the absolute freezing ability that she has. That stack, she stacks them by the way on the enemy. It will reduce the enemy speed and it will reduce their effective resistance, and she can stack that by 5 for 3 rounds. Okay, when the stacking happens and you keep reducing their speed, they're slower in speed and they're very much affected by CC crowd control, her previous skills that we talked about. So they will be continuously frozen and they will continuously take additional damage while being frozen. So based on this, we learn she can freeze the enemy, stop them from moving. She stacks the Zero Frost on them like a little piece of snow. Okay, and she reduces their speed, reduces also their effective resistance. By less effective resistance means they're more vulnerable for crowd control effect ability on them. By doing that, she can attack them, they can attack the rest of your heroes, and also while being frozen they take additional damage from her. The next skill will actually match up with everything we just talked about and what she can do of reducing the enemy speed, reducing their effective resistance for crowd control, and also gaining more damage ability by her attack once the enemy is frozen. Let's move into the next skill, which will really summarize all the skills because she really has skills that support each other one by one. So the next one we're going to be looking at is actually something great and matches the Ice Storm. The Ice Storm completes the full cycle of her skills because pretty much she will be in battle, she'll freeze the enemy, the rest of your heroes are attacking, the frozen enemies or the one that are marked with the freezing little snowing thing that you will see, they will take more damage from her. They will not be able to move, their speed and effective resistance will go down. They will also take damage extra from the coordination that she has, which is the last skill that matches everything she can do. When any of your heroes launches any type of attack or ultimate or anything, she is using the Frost Shards for a coordination attack. Each one of those deals 30% of damage of the attack. From the total attack, 30% will be done as damage to a random enemy from the 6 you are actually going against. Now the downside on this, it can only be triggered 3 times per round. What does that mean? You have in the battling system 15 rounds. So 3 times is still very good actually. Every time one of your heroes attack and she's already marked one of the targets, their speed is going down, she can do more damage. One random enemy will get 30% or 40 or 50 at level 3 of the attack of one of your heroes. So it's a bleeding long cycle of freeze the enemy, do more damage to the enemy, gain coordination attack damage by marking them, slowing them down and using effective resistance so they cannot even move. They're slower and they take more damage with each attack from one of your heroes per round, which is a very good skill because it is a crowd control hero. You want to control the crowd, which means they're just standing there watching while they are doing absolutely nothing and you're butchering them, killing them slowly. Alright, let's move into the battling cycle, watching Elodie actually in battle. Here we've selected the finest of the finest and we're only using 3 heroes for this one and not our usual selection because we haven't really worked on her. So as you can see, the 2 enemies in the back liner got frozen and unfortunately that will last for 1 round because she's still weak. At the same time, if you look very closely at their image, you will see that there's a small icon that looks like a piece of ice. Those 2 small icons are from the Absolute Freeze and from the Freezing Shards. Pretty much she will be able to do more damage to whoever has that icon, as you can see those 2 million there. And at the same time, when any one of the other heroes attacks, she will do the coordination randomly and they will take more damage by her being in battle. And that's pretty much how she works. She stacks up the Absolute Freeze and the Freezing Shards, 2 of them, 2 icons which will show on the enemy, and by doing that, any one of your heroes attacks, randomly a burst of damage will go out to the enemy, and so on. The final thing I'll leave you with is a recap of Elodie and the final image for you to look at lineups, artifacts, and stigmata recommendation and all that good stuff. The main thing that she offers: freeze the enemy, reduce their speed and effective resistance, allow coordination so they take more damage from your heroes and actually cause more damage. Also, with her freezing ability, the enemy that's frozen will take more damage from her. So what does she do again? Allow the coordination attacks so they take 20, 30, 40, 50 damage from the other heroes. As soon also as they're frozen, they will take more damage specifically from Elodie, and when they're frozen, they cannot act, move, or do anything. It's an all-in-one crowd control in the neatest and coolest way. Alright guys, thank you so much and see you in the next one.